What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back into another banger video. Today's video, we're going to be reacting to a catheter ablation procedure. In the first video, it's going to be an animation. In the second video, we're going to watch like the real thing in the process. Hopefully you guys learn something new from this video. I'm excited to watch it with you guys and share some stories and my experiences that I've gone through from this video. Hopefully, you gain some knowledge. By the way, obviously these are not my videos. You can find these videos on the YouTube, and I'm gonna share the link so you guys can watch the full videos for yourself, and maybe you learn something good for it. If you're planning on going through with the surgery, you just want to learn more about the surgery, or if you've gone through it with the procedure yourself, right? Hopefully you guys get something good out of it. But without further ado, let's get into this reaction video, and let me get my screen going for you guys, and here we go.
Depending on activity level, the heart beats about 60
That's
to
good.
100 times per minute. It may be higher during exercise or lower at rest. A normal heart rate and rhythm ensures the delivery of oxygen-rich blood to all of the body's organs, such as the brain and lungs.
That is so cool. How beautiful and complicated the
A
body
group
is.
of cells in the heart, called the cardiac conduction system, uses electrical impulses to control the
That's wild.
speed and rhythm of each heartbeat. An abnormal heart rate or rhythm, called an arrhythmia, occurs when there's a problem with the heart's conduction system. Tachycardia is a type of arrhythmia where the heart beats too fast.
That's your boy. I've tachycardia, and it's probably my middle name. Probably at this point, the amount of times that I've gotten my heart rate really high. That's something that I do suffer from, not because I have a heart issue, but because of the external, the things around my heart that cause it. It's kind of almost collateral what happens with around my heart. If you guys see my videos a lot, you know that I suffer from that. So my heart is healthy, thank God, but is affected by the things around it, like my gastro issues, um, the surgeries that I had, and anything that was tempered with. So that's unfortunate.
Fibrillation is a type of arrhythmia where the heart beats irregularly and may be too fast.
Hmm. That is
For
something that the
certain
doctors
types
thought
of
I had.
arrhythmias, a catheter ablation procedure may be necessary to stop the heart tissue from causing the arrhythmia. After numbing a small area in the groin with a needle,
Ugh, that looks.
the doctor will insert a short
I know
hollow
it's an
tube
animation, but it's
called a
painful.
catheter sheath into the femoral vein.
Jeez, femoral vein. That's what it's called. Femoral vein.
Next, a long flexible tube called a
The
catheter
catheter.
will be inserted through the sheath.
So, quick little story on that. When that area that they're putting, that's closer to your groin, that they're putting in the catheter and all that, uh, before the surgery, they prep you, right? Typically, if you're not shaved, they will shave you, and this is while you're still awake. They will shave you and clean that area up so they can make the incision and eventually put the catheter and all that stuff in. Well, I already had knew that prior to going into my procedure, so I had shaving a couple of days before, make sure everything was clean and everything was good to go. But it's funny because the person that was prepping me was a lady, and when she tried to shave me, she was like, "Oh my god, it's clean! Like that's cool. That was good." And I was like, "Thank you," And I made a joke out of it. I was like, "Well, you never know when you're gonna need it." So, and she started laughing. I started laughing, and I always remember that moment because it was kind of like laughing away the pain and like the anxiety that I was going through. I was about to go to this big surgery, and just me making a joke. If you guys know me well enough, I'm gonna joke. I gotta laugh about it. You can't be serious everything. Well, even at this moment, I'm over here laughing. I'm like, yeah, you never know. You never know when you're gonna need it to be clean down there. So thank God she was a good sport and she laughed about it. But I always remember that when I see something like that.
The doctor will guide the catheter to the heart through a blood vessel that goes to the heart, called the inferior vena cava.
Inferior vena cava. That sounds so
The
cool. That's a cool
location
name.
and progress of the catheter will be monitored. When the catheter reaches the heart, the doctor will guide it to the area that is caused.
So it's really cool how your heart, like the catheter, has to cross this path right here. This little, I wouldn't even know what the part of the heart this is because I don't know, but it has to cross that. And the reason is it's really cool because
causing the arrhythmia.
right now they're about to show you that it's a they how it gets ablated. I'm gonna fast forward it, right? So the radio frequency that they're showing here, uh, I never got that done. I never got that ablate. Like I never when I say in my videos I never got ablated, I never got that process. Like I never got that done in my heart because there was nothing to ablate, right? There was nothing to take care of because after being in there for a couple hours, the electrophysiologist, she saw that everything was healthy, and everything was good, and my heart was healthy. Doesn't matter what they try to do. It at that moment, at that point in time, it was healthy. So when I mean I got my check thoroughly, I mean this is how thorough I got my heart checked. Which I'm always glad that everything came out well. So we're gonna end the video here because this is technically what it takes, like the heart and all that stuff. But we're gonna get into another video that is really cool, and they show a little bit more of like the process and stuff. I believe is this one. So the first one is from Nucleus Medical Media. So shout out to them. Again, this video is for educational purposes and just trying to inform a community of everything. So we're gonna move fast forward a little bit in this video. Turn on that on.
The patient is sedated. So right now we're getting.
So when you get to this point, right? Once you are in your bed, obviously right now this patient right now is sedated as they stated. So she's he or she is already under. Well, prior to getting to this point, I remember the first thing that happened to me when I got into the room was so cold, man. And surgery rooms are supposed to be cold. I get that, but this particular time, I remember it being really cold. Like I was shivering a little bit. I think how cold it was. Now, when it got me into the room, I was in one bed, but they made me switch into another bed. They put these little things on around my chest. I don't know what they were. I don't know if it was only in the front, but I think it was also in the back, if I'm not mistaken. I think that it's that they use to see like a 3D scan of your heart or maybe like deeper. I'm gonna show you like the cameras and what the flow of whatnot, what's going on in there. But they did all of that. Of course, I don't remember getting put to sleep because you never do. Like you remember that you have a couple seconds to like we're like, okay, I'm going to sleep right now. And that is one of the best sleep that you can get in your life, man. Like I wish falling asleep was like that, where you just like, okay, time to put you to sleep and you're just boom, knockout. But let's keep going.
Access to the femoral vein using a syringe. Once we get access to the vein, we'll pass a wire. Everything's done over wire, a soft wire, because we don't want anything sharp.
Makes sense. Important. Soft wire. You definitely don't want anything sharp because internal bleeding, boy. Nah, we're not trying to deal with that.
The heart, they're essentially tubes that are a conduit to allow us to make their way into the heart and about to enter the heart. Here you have a live image of the heart, and he'll look at the left atrium, which is the chamber where we're going to do our work.
So all the machines that you see there, of course, they're using all of that just for your heart. This is like tells you how important this surgery really is. But also, I think the thing that I was referring to earlier, whatever patches they put on me, I think they're using that to see either this image or the 3D scan with like different colors in it. You'll see it.
Mr. Hatcher had an ablation before, so now we're gonna check electrically to see if the ablation was effective. Often for a second ablation, the veins are reconnected. There's a
like that image right there that you see right there. That image that I was talking about, that image right there. By the way, this looks like a face, bro. I just noticed this. You see this part? That looks like an image, homie, like an actual face. How about that? I just caught that in this video. But I think that's what it was for like to watch like all these different. I couldn't tell you what these colors are, to be honest. Talk to your doctor about that, but I have no idea what's going on.
It's a straight line on the left side, but on the right side you see sort of a triangular chunk of healthy tissue. So we'll add some ablation there. So what we'll be doing is what we call point by point ablation with the radio frequency ablation catheter, which is. Here it has a small.
That's so cool.
Dropping fluid.
Bro, that was in me, bro. That was in me. No homo. That was in me. That's crazy. That's crazy to think about. That's wild. That's wild.
As it delivers energy so it doesn't char. Notice there are some extra heartbeats actually just when we have the catheter in that area. Some interesting signals there. Just watch for any temperature rise, please. And the reason I'm asking about the temperature is the esophagus is very close to the back of the heart. The temperature...
Important. The esophagus is close to the back of your heart, which if you have suffered from gastro issues, regurgitation, GERD, well, GERD is part of regurgitation, but regurgitation, acid reflux, LRP, all of these symptoms. This is why sometimes we feel like we're having a heart attack because the esophagus is so close to your heart. It's crazy how that works, like how close it is. If you see the anatomy in a picture of how anatomy is, it's really, really close to your heart. So anything that goes on into your esophagus, if, and that chest tightness you get, and sometimes your heart flutters or it raises because of it all is all connected. We're not crazy though what we feel, but just that how important to know that how close your esophagus to your heart. I'm like, man, like no wonder sometimes I feel like I'm having like a heart attack or like some type of heart problem because of my gastro issues.
If the esophagus goes up, then we have to be more careful, potentially stop ablating. So.
No, they said right now, the doctor just said that if the temperature of the esophagus goes up, they have to be careful. I'm not sure why that is. I mean, it can sound obvious, like that's not healthy or, that's not how it's supposed to go. But I think there's a deeper reason behind that. Maybe because you're not trying to ablate. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to tell you, but there's a deeper reason behind that.
Yeah, so it looks like actually one of the areas where you ablated, recovered on the bottom. So we're going to go, back with the RF catheter to ablate a little bit more there. Do you see that? Is there a spot? Yep. You see that fractionated signal? Let's come on ablation here. We got everything right. It's a good sign.
Crazy how many people are involved into this process as one surgery. Like when you look at all these equipment, when you look at all the people like hands-on, it's kind of cool and it's kind of it gives you a different perspective on like why this surgery is very expensive. Like you can see how many people it takes to just go through all of this. Look at the equipment itself, man. Like that technology is different, man. That's wild. Kind of makes you appreciate the doctors, that study this and all the professionals in that room that are taking part in a role into making sure that everything goes well in your heart, and of course your safety and making sure everything comes out well. So, wow.
Is this area that was electrically active? We're actually stimulating the heart to go faster, but it's actually not able to capture.
When he says he's stimulating the heart to go faster, I remember reading something like this. I thought it was a like an adrenaline shot that they gave you so your heart can start beating faster. So I'm assuming that the reasoning behind it is because if your heart starts beating faster, then that's when you're able to see like more of the AFib, or if you're having SVTs or anything like that. Like if your heart is shooting extra electrical pathways, it will probably be when your heart's beating faster. It's what I'm assuming. Correct me if I'm wrong on the YouTube section. Nothing wrong with correcting me. I appreciate learning and getting educated even further. And also constructive criticism is always welcome. So, but I think that was a reason behind it. Not sure if that's the exact reason, but it kind of makes sense, right? You got to make sure that he's checking in that moment to see if everything is working well.
Any of the heart muscle to make it go faster, so we know this ablation's been effective. Jamaro will just check to make sure that there's not any fluid around the heart, that everything looks good structurally. Everything will come out of the body. We'll reverse the blood thinner. We'll hold pressure here for 10 minutes. After he's done that, we'll wake up Thurston and get him to the recovery area. Easy as that. It took a little bit less than 2 hours to do.
That's crazy. First of all, I did not know that they use blood thinners. I'm not sure there's like a standard procedure. I did not know that they use blood thinners, which it makes sense, of course, right? Like they probably did that on me myself. So, but the fact that it's 2 hours, less than 2 hours, it tells me two things, right? First of all, mine took a little bit longer, maybe because it was my first time and the doctor was trying to check very thoroughly that nothing is wrong with me and nothing was coming out in my heart. So, positive for that. And also, this is, I think, the second time this patient has gone through a procedure. So the doctor, if it's the same doctor, he kind of knows what he worked with the last time, and this time he gotta know what he's getting into. So he has like an more particular game plan that they're going with this patient. But the fact that it was less than 2 hours is very impressive, because I've read it sometimes that surgeries last probably 6-7 hours, and I thought mine was good timing with 3 to 4 hours, and this is including the prep, of course. But I think that was really cool. By the way, something that's important to know, and this is basically the end of the video, but I'm going to make my screen a little bit larger. Something that's important to know, sometimes, or at least a lot of the times, do your research on this stuff. But I remember reading that the first time if your symptoms or your issues are pretty bad, like the first catheter ablation doesn't heal all your symptoms at once. So it's probably likely that you're going to have another procedure, like the second one or the third one. And I've read and seen videos of this before. I did not know this information prior to getting my procedure. So if I would have turned out with something and my problems didn't get healed, I probably would have been through another catheter ablation procedure, which, it would have been another struggle. But with this, in this case, this patient had another procedure, and I've read a lot that this is, kind of normal. Sometimes, in order for people to get fully, I guess, ablated and everything taken care of in their heart, they have to get more than one procedure. So that's, I think, something that's important to know. But of course, do your research on this video. I just want to shout out the YouTube channels that I saw the videos from. This is, of course, this is educational. From, I think the last one we saw was Rush University System for Health, and the first one was the Nucleus Medical Media. So I'm gonna probably put the links on the description below. Just another thing that I want to share, man, that's very important. I know I'm reacting to this video and I'm talking about my process, but listen, man, this is one of the surgeries that I felt like was one of the biggest surgeries that I had in my life. I was 23 when I had the surgery. I had to make this decision, right? And let me tell you the reason behind I went through with the process of the surgery. So I had two choices when I was going through all of this. And the reason I was even considered for the surgery by my electrophysiologist was because the EKG that I did on a stress test, it came out abnormal, right? So in order to make sure that everything was okay with my heart, you had to go through this procedure, right? Because the EKGs were turning out abnormal. I did not know, though, that in that moment that my gastro issues were causing a lot of abnormalities in my heart and all that pressure that I was going through with the stress test, right? That's basically the conclusion that I came up with everything, because, of course, it turned out that my heart was healthy at the end of the day, and I never got ablated. But going through the process of this procedure was tough. Getting the news, when I got told that I was going to have a heart surgery at 23, I was like, bro, I went to my car and I broke down. I was crying so much. I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, the doctor's telling me, is recommending a heart surgery. And, I'm over here 23. Like, I'm thinking, where has my life gone? I'm crying my ass off and going through so much in my mind. Again, being 23, and I'm just like, dude, what had my life gone to? When a couple months, I was, I was fine. So before you, and now going into the surgery, I remember at one point before they're gonna take you to have the procedure, they tell your family, say goodbye to them. And at that moment, I think you're saying goodbye because, hey, bye, I'm gonna be back, in a couple hours. But in retrospect, there's always that percentage that things can go wrong, right? Because nothing's ever perfect. So you never know that you could be saying bye to your family, one last time. And to be honest, that hurts, because when I said bye to my mom, she had no idea of what exactly was going on. I didn't either. I had a better idea, but not fully, right? Because we don't understand the grasp of it. But my mom was crying, my grandma was crying, and seeing them cry before I went into that procedure was one of the most difficult things that I think about now, because of, you know, how much pain your family goes through those moments, right? A lot of the times you're only thinking about yourself because you're the one going through it. But you know, your family's also out there waiting for you for 4 hours or however long the surgery is, worried about you, right? And you know, of course, they love you. So it's something, when I think about it in retrospect, you know, it hurts a little bit. It's a lot of trauma going into that. You know, signing the paperwork for the surgery, right? I'm assuming that a lot of the paperwork was like for liability. If something goes wrong or something goes south, then you know, they're not really liable for a lot of things that happen. And that's something that's part of the process. You know, I get it. You know, I get it. But that process is very traumatizing. It's hard. Um, and sometimes I lay at night and my subconscious is like, yo, dude, you're 30 and you've gone through all these procedures and all these surgeries, and, you know, just the enemy talking to you. But I'm just glad that I'm still fighting. I'm still going through. I'm glad that I'm alive, man, that I'm above ground and fighting. So I always give thanks to God, and just thank him for what you're going through. I'm grateful that I'm able to share my experience and hopefully help any of you guys. Just reminding you again, you know, you're not alone. Like, I could make this video and react to it and, you know, make extra reactions to like unnecessary reactions, but that's not what I'm about. I'm about sharing my vulnerability, my real life experience. And, you know, even though you're on that side of the screen and I'm on this side of the screen, I'm a real human being, man. And I've been through it and I've gone through it just as much as you guys have gone through certain things. So, you know, I suffer just like you guys do. I cry just like you guys do. I bleed just like you guys do. And it's tough and it's hard. And watching this video takes me back to a place of like, man, I just can't believe that I've been through so much at a young age. But you know what? It's okay, because I'm gonna live a day at a time. I'm gonna stay positive, and I'm gonna keep affecting and changing lives as much as I can while I'm alive. That's a goal of mine, and you know, I feel like that's a part of my testimony. That's part of my a blessing that I have, and I give, you know, I thank God every day because I'm able to do that and share these experiences with you guys. It's important to me. So don't feel alone. Whatever you're going through, don't feel alone. You are not alone. You have this community with me, with you, um, and you know, uh, I feel like I am blessed of the people that are around me and that I keep fighting for. Don't remember, you know, always remember what you're fighting for, man. Always remember, it's tough. Uh, One last thing I'll leave you with is, if you stayed this long into the video, do not let your circumstances define the rest of your life. The moment that you're going through, you know, the time spent, whether it's days, hours, months, years, don't let that define what you're going to do for the rest of your life. We get one life. Some people get the short hand of this, you know, the stick, and some people get the better end of the stick. You know, sometimes you get bad cards, sometimes you get good cards, and whatever it may be, you know, look at the positive light. You get one life, and you choose what you're gonna do with, you know, the mentality that you have up here, right here. You get to choose what to do with that, right? And I choose to keep doing and keep striving as much as I can, even though I'm going through all of this. Again, it's tough, it's hard, but you know, instead of concentrating on your problems, concentrate on the Lord, concentrate on God, put your eyes on Him, you know, seek Him, and you know, things will get better. I'm not perfect, you know, I'm not a perfect Christian, I'm not a perfect human being, but I try to do better and I try to be better because I do get one life. And sometimes what you leave behind, it's not your physical possessions or your things, it's your your character, you know, your legacy, what you went through, what your family saw, and the way you reacted to things. You know, that character goes on, and you take that. You know, people will remember you by that, and that's what I choose to live by. So I didn't want to get too deep into it, guys, but I feel like it's just very important to share that because I've been through it, and as you can see, when I look at these videos and react to it, you know, it's very real. It's very, very real. So I appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, so we can keep growing in the familia, in the community. And of course, if you want to get more notifications when I go live, turn on the bell, and to get all notifications when I post videos, when I go live, even shorts. So thank you guys for all the love. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, Peace and love, baby. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.